Matthew has been a fitness professional for 10 years now. For the last 7 years, Matthew has worked closely with a team of specialists widely considered to be the world's leading experts on human health and performance. Matthew has and continues to help people from all walks of life, recovering from surgery, overcome pain, regain normal function, or achieve fitness-related goals such as weight loss and improvement of body composition. Matthew says his goal is simple: to make people more human. When asked why he's saying this, it is because there is the only way to ensure their longevity and vitality. I must admit that last time when he came, I promised never to invite him again, and you'll see, but let's see what he... Okay.
Mic check. All right. So yes, my name is Matthew. Again, I put it, my goal is simple. It's to try and make people more human. So what I mean by that is the society we live in is taking away from your humanness, all right? And the big problem with the field of fitness, I want to say as a whole, is that science does not really need to be respected when it comes to what you need to do for your health. When it comes to your technology, when it comes to the building you live in, for damn sure you have to respect the laws of science. But when it comes to your health and wellness, you don't have to respect the laws of biology, neurology, physics, and there's a lot of he said, she said because of that. There's a lot of fitness professionals, there's a lot of overnight people, there's a lot of celebrities, actors giving advice that shouldn't be. All right, so back to my point. What biology tells us, evolutionary biology tells us, is that our body was designed to be in the wild, okay? But the big problem is your brain's job is to change your body based on your environment. So we're not supposed to sit for long periods of time, use computers, use phones. The problem is these things require very little activity. So when you're doing this, your brain goes, oh, let my body become very good at these things. But what do you become very good at? Next to nothing. And that's a big problem because movement is required for your joints and your body and your system to stay healthy. Those are the rules. So your joints do not have a direct blood supply. If you look at any joint in the body, you'll see there's no artery or vein that innervates a joint space, whether it be my wrist or my shoulder. So the only way your joints stay healthy and last you and don't break down prematurely is through adequate space and movement. And if you don't take your joints and move them the ways you're supposed to move them, they break down. Okay, and this is a big problem, and this applies to everyone. So I know it's called Get Up and Move, but I want to use this moment and this time to really educate you. And if you listen to me and do what I'm about to tell you, take down my info, I can help you further. And we're going to go into a practice in a second, but again, this is what's required to keep you healthy because every day you move. Okay, and what research shows is that movement cannot be recreated. No two movements are the same. So no matter how many times you pick up a phone, put it down, step, squat, lunge, jump, it doesn't matter. Research shows that every single time you do something, your brain calculates at that moment how to do it. Okay, within 30 milliseconds, when you go to do something, your brain figures out how it should do that. If you have very poor movement pathways because you don't train your body the way you're supposed to, the likelihood and risk of injury is high. But for sure, if you don't suffer from injury, your body is breaking down prematurely because also what happens is your body changes to be very good at doing this. And what happens is your shoulder, your neck, your back, your body starts to alter to be very good at this. Then you have, oh, aches, my neck hurts, my back hurts, you go get it rubbed out. You're not really doing much, okay? So the people I work with, they've designed what's called the functional range systems. It's more so systems of thinking, but you can break it down to assessment, treatment, and training. And when we teach the treatment seminars, we joke. We go, someone comes in with elbow pain, we rub their arm. We'll go, tell me what you feel. You'll feel really nice. Then we go, okay, go home and ask your partner to rub your feet and tell me what you feel. You'll feel really nice. But did I really do anything? No, not really. All right? So what's required is there's many different layers. I'm going to start with the simplest way. So it's a practice known as controlled articular rotations. So if you came here last time, I hope you've been practicing your cars. That's what they're called. And like I said, you do this every day for the rest of your life to prevent your body from breaking down further and maximize the health and function of your body. So when you go to do things, you don't suffer from pain and problems. And your body doesn't break down prematurely as you age. So I'd ask everyone to stand up right now. And like it says, it's very simple. Slow and controlled movement is key. Move what you're asked to move only, and be aware of your body the whole time. Okay, so your body has billions of receptors and fibers, or it should have billions of receptors and fibers that know exactly what's going on with your body in 3D space. As you're going to find out very quickly, those receptors and fibers aren't working very well. Okay? So if you improve health, you improve performance. But if you improve performance, you don't improve health. So meaning playing baseball, squatting, those things, you get better at those. But if you get better at cars, research shows, if you get better at these things and the things we do, you get better at everything. Okay, so what I want you to do is first understand that your body is one muscle. So if I take off your skin and I say, show me where your bicep becomes your tricep, it's absolutely impossible. If I say contract your bicep without your tricep, you can't. Your body's simply one piece of connective tissue. So we use those areas to identify, but when someone's like, I'm going to the gym, I'm going to pump chest and arms. I'm like, really? Just all the connective tissue in your wrist and your hips, everything else isn't working? It's nonsense. You can't train your body like that. You've been taught to think these things, but your body is one muscle. So here's what I'm going to ask you to do. I'm going to ask you to think about your whole body, from your toes up through the rest of your body. Now, first time doing this, even if you've only done it a few times, it's very subjective as to what I'm saying when I say 30% tension of all the muscles in your body. So stand with your feet about hip width apart and try and create about 30% tension from your abs into your feet up into the rest of your body. Now again, very subjective, what is 30%? But your body has an internal gauge as to how much force it needs to create, what internal tension is, and most people don't know how to do that. If you can't control your internal environment, you're going to have a very hard time controlling external loads and doing things. So feet about hip width apart, and we're going to take a second and we're going to think, my abs, my feet, the rest of my body. Okay, so I'm going to solidify the rest of my body, think about everything from my neck down being in cement. And then I'm going to practice moving my neck without moving anything else. So if we maximize independent joint function, we maximize interdependent function. And what is exercise? What is movement? Interdependent function. So we make the pieces work better, the system works better. So on the sum of the parts, there's only the parts. So we work on the parts. Very easy practice. We teach this to everyone we meet. Different levels to it. Obviously, I'm going to give you a very easy, low level, but it's important that you do this with frequency. Again, if you want your body to last. If you don't, then don't listen to me. That's fine. Okay? But also helps you achieve any goal. Like I said, weight loss, weight gain, muscle mass, building. If you want to look us up and see who we work for more pro sports teams and organizations than any other system or group in the world. We're the best of the best, and we say it how it is. Again, I can talk to you more about these things later, or you can take down my info and hit me up, and I can provide you with any insight or help towards anything you'd like to achieve. All right, so hands are glued to the side. You're going to imagine there's a marker on the tip of your chin, and what I'm going to ask you to do is to draw circles. Now watch me. If I said 10%, this would be my circle. Okay, but because it's 30, the air is a little bit denser. So you imagine there's a marker, and we're going to try and rotate. So I'll show you one, then you're going to do this for me. So you're going to take this marker, you're going to pull your chin down. Don't do this yet. And we're going to slowly rotate that chin along the collarbone as far as we can to the right. You'll hit a roadblock. You can no longer rotate. From that point, you're going to flex your neck this way. You're going to bring that chin up to the sky. You're going to pull your ear back behind your left shoulder, wrap around, rotate. You're going to do that twice to the right and then twice to the left. Okay, so what's going to want to happen is your body's going to do a bunch of things. I want you to really try and be aware of the rest of your body and move your neck. So, all right, 30% tension. The air around you just became 30% denser, and you pull your chin in. Now you rotate towards your right, pushing your chin along your collarbone, rotating to the right. So you find this roadblock. I can't rotate anymore. Now I'm going to lean my ear back behind my shoulder, and I'm going to pull my chin up towards the sky. But don't jerk your chin up. Keep it slightly packed so you have a nice wave in your neck, not pinching. Now, take your left ear, pull it behind your left shoulder. You can no longer pull it back. Try and pull your chin down towards the outermost point of your left collarbone. Pack it down and push it across towards the right, coming back to center. And now you go into rep number 2. So back towards the right, turn as much as you can. No longer turn, lean, laterally shift. Feel all that connective tissue on the left side open up. Slowly rotate up. Left ear behind left shoulder. Back down to center. Keep your hands glued to your side. So the rest of the body shouldn't have moved. And then when you hit center, go to the left. Slow and controlled. Again, 30% tension. You're bringing it up, you're bringing it back. And I can see a lot of you pulling your shoulder blades up and forward. So pull your shoulder blades down. So there's compensation number one. Because you live in a world where you use your neck and your shoulder blades all the time, you get this, and that's what's causing you neck pain. Okay, it's not your spouse saying silly things, it's not your partner saying things, it's your neck being like this all the time. That's what's causing you headaches, that's what's causing you a lot of problems. Those other things might, but I can only control so much. And then we go to the left again, wrapping, rotating around, keeping those shoulder blades down and keeping your belly button in. So I don't want you extending and moving through the spine. I want the upper neck, not the rest of the back. And again, we just finish that out, wrap around, come down. And that's what you do for your neck. So you try and do that consistently whenever you can. So there's no number of sets and reps when we do these. So we do cars every day. We try and teach our clientele and certain people. One of them's here, so I'm looking at them very closely, but you try and do your cars all the time. Okay, you try to get reps in because you want to influence your health as best as you can. And because it's very low level, the intensity is very low, it needs to be done with frequency to cause change. Okay, next thing we're going to do is shoulder blades. Okay, so shoulder blades, you're going to find a lot of cheats and compensations because most people do not use their shoulder blades properly. Again, you're trying to build upon this, trying to listen to my cues, trying your best, again, move what I ask you to move without moving anything else. So, hands glued to the side. I'll show you one and then we'll do it together. So, your shoulder blades should move freely and easily along the rib cage. A lot of misconceptions, stability, this, that. No, all joints are meant to move in certain ways. The more you can move them, the more you can control them. Therefore, your stability goes up when you exercise and do things. If I can control my shoulders everywhere, that means I'm stable everywhere. Okay? So if I have good mobility, I automatically have good stability, and I can use these things to train properly. So your hands are glued to your side. You're going to watch me first. So we're going to try and draw the shoulder blades forward. Okay, up, back, down. Don't do this yet. Watch. Now, your hands should not move forwards. Your hands can only go up, okay, when they go up, and they can only go down. I don't want the elbows bending. I don't want your neck moving. I don't want your hips moving. So we'll do this now. So you're going to think about squeezing everything on the front of the chest and trying to draw those shoulder blades together. Trying to slide them as far apart as you can, trying to squeeze your chest and make sure your hands don't glide forward. Good. Now you're going to try and pull your shoulder blades up towards your ears and make sure your arms don't bend. Make sure your elbows don't bend. Keep those arms nice and straight. And now try and pull your shoulder blades together and open up all that tissue on your chest and make sure your elbows don't bend and your ribs don't flare. So squeeze everything on your back and think about pulling them together. Okay, now the hardest part, try and keep them together as you use the tissue on your back here and pull them down. And that's going to be really hard because no one uses that connective tissue. No one uses those muscles the way you're supposed to, and that can cause you a lot of problems. So again, we're going to go forward, squeeze the stuff on your front of your chest, trying to open up the tissue on the back. Bring the shoulder blades towards your ears. Keep the elbows locked straight. Pull them together. Squeeze all the tissue closest to your spine and try and bring your shoulder blades to your spine. Squeeze them together. Now try and pull them into your back pockets. And we're going to do this one more time. So if you aren't doing this, you aren't keeping your joints healthy. Forward, I'm telling you, that's what the science says. This is the best way, again, to improve your health. Other things may feel good, but feeling is not an outcome measure, and it's not what we look for. It's not a clinical finding. Okay, and then back and together, get that blood, get that oxygen in and out of that tissue, and get those receptors and fibers talking to your brain, understanding what they're supposed to do, and pull down. Good, because the more communication, the less likely you are to falter when you do things. Okay, and many of you probably saw that's way harder than it looks. All right, we're going to go to shoulder joint. We're going to do shoulder joint one at a time. So what I'm going to ask you to do is to make a fist with your right hand and lift your elbow up so that your elbow lines up with your shoulder. With this one, I want you to make sure that you don't cock and move your wrists excessively, okay? You're going to try and keep this line, and you're just going to try and rotate the shoulder joint in. Now, watch. As I come in, I don't want my shoulder blade coming in. So it's just rotate as much as you can in and down and keep that elbow in line. And I can see a lot of people automatically, again, that awareness of where their joint is isn't there. So let's start again. Up here, Turn as much as you can towards the ground, keeping that fist tight, not collapsing. Again, I see a lot of that. It's just move the shoulder. So the elbow, the wrist, they're solid, the rest of the body's tight. And you just turn that, keeping that 90-degree bend as far as you can. And then slowly back out. And squeeze and try and get as far back as you can, but without compensating and cheating. One more time in. Squeeze down. Keep that elbow there. Try not to, again, bend or change anything. And squeeze out. And again, when you squeeze out, try and get it as far back as you can. Squeeze those muscles in the back of the shoulder there. Good. Okay, we're going to bring this arm down. We're going to do the same thing with the left. We'll go quickly into the wrist, and then that will be it. All right, so I'm seeing a lot of this, and I'm seeing a lot of this. I'm seeing a lot of other movement. Again, try your best. As long as you understand what I'm asking you to do, you're doing it well, okay? So here, and we're going to slowly, again, rotate that in. Keep the elbow where it is, and try and just bring that in. Make sure that the scapula, the shoulder blade, doesn't dip forward. Okay, hold there, and make sure the wrist doesn't collapse, and then out. So bring your elbows up. Some of you, keep this line. So if you need to look again, okay, look. So your body has built-in awareness, but if you need to use visual feedback to start, and again, I'm not just here, I'm trying to get it back further, but I'm trying to make sure that I don't get any rib flare when I do that. And then in, slow and controlled. Don't let that wrist cock. Keep that in, keep that elbow straight. Good. And then out. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Get as much as you can out. Good. We're going to do wrist, and then I'll wrap up with that. So wrist, very important for a lot of you. For most people, and people don't have wrist because you live in a world where you do this. So what you're going to see is that your wrist and your forearm have conjoined. And this is a really good one I like to show people to show you how dysfunctional and problematic your body is. Okay, so watch. I'm going to make a fist. If you look at my forearm, keep your elbow bent to 90 degrees, watch me. Now, I'm going to ask you to move your wrist the same way and watch what's going to happen. So I'm going to pull my wrist up towards me. Don't do this yet. Turn in, turn down, and around. And look at my forearm. Now, everyone do the same thing. So elbow bent to 90 degrees, make that fist. Let's go right hand first. Okay, so elbows bent to 90 degrees. It's parked at your side. Try and pull your wrist up towards you. Try and pull that fist in. Did your elbow move? Did you cheat through there? Okay, now try and turn that pinky in and down towards the ground. And tell me if your forearm is still facing the ceiling. If it's not, then your wrist and your forearm are starting to become conjoined. That's a good way to get carpal tunnel syndrome and develop serious problems with your hands later in life. So what you need to do is physically disassociate. So you take the other hand, you clamp down, and you hold that. Now, cramping, discomfort, if you don't like me, that's all good. As long as you don't feel pain. If you're like, oh my God, I hate you, Matt, then that's fine. Okay? That's cool. If you're like, oh, I feel clicking, I feel clacking, that's all good. If the minute you feel pain, you stop. Okay, so same thing. Now take your hand, I have to do the same thing, and we're going to break this apart. So you're going to come up. Now, only counteract as much as you need. Don't kill yourself, but give it some tug and fight. And the only reason this feels very crappy is because your hand is very nerve dense by design. There's a ton of receptors, ton of fibers. You're going to feel a lot of ligaments, tendons sliding. And we're just going to try and draw circles with that wrist. It's controlled articular rotations. Control the articulation through rotational movement. And you're just trying to keep that forearm facing the ceiling and eventually be able to do it without your hand. Not right away, but take your time. If you're writing a lot, you're on a computer a lot, you really need this. All right, now we'll go to the left. Make that fist. Okay, and then same thing, you can try it out. Maybe one side works better than the other. Let's see first. So up, then turn in. Again, if that forearm moves, then you take your other hand and you lock it down to disassociate, and we're just trying to draw circles with that wrist. So it's up and in, try and get it as far this way as you can. Try and turn it out, rotate out, down. Don't let the arm move. Keep the arm facing the ceiling and turn out. Again, use this hand to counteract. So as you come in, go this way. As you go out, go this way. Use that to keep that arm centered. And slow and controlled to pump blood in and out and to get that brain and that joint to communicate maximally. So again, every 30 milliseconds, information is going backwards and forwards. You slow it down. All right, well, thank you for listening to me. I know there's a lot of information out there. Again, if you wanted to look into my credentials and who I am and what I do and the people I work with, please do so. I know it's a bold claim, the best in the world, but we're recognized throughout the world by numerous pro sports teams, facilities everywhere, as the best of the best when it comes to optimizing human health and performance. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.